Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Ben, welcome back to the channel. Today we are in the garage, and before we get to the install, I've got a bit of a confession to make. It's one that I'm actually fairly embarrassed by because it happens to me way more often than it should. I had a friend recently remind me of the quote that says, temporary solutions often lead to permanent problems, and this hits a little too close to home. You see, a lot of times I'll have parts show up for an install on the 4Runner right before I'm about to leave on a trip. For most people, this would not be a big deal. You would put the parts on a shelf, go on your trip, have a great time, come home and do the install when you can give it the time it deserves. Delayed gratification, though, has never been my strong suit, and when the mail guy comes, I'm like a kid on Christmas morning. I've got to rip into that box. I've got to play with this shiny new thing I just bought. And what this leads to is me telling myself, yeah, I can get this install done before I have to leave. Which inevitably leads to working way too late into the night, cutting way too many corners, and ending up with an install that is a temporary solution. I step back and say, nah, it'll be fine, it'll get me through this weekend, and as soon as I get home, I'll install it properly. This is what I said 6 months ago when I installed some new lights from Baja Designs and a Switch-Pros to control everything and put together this grand plan for my electrical system in the 4Runner. And 6 months have gone by and that temporary solution has become a handful of permanent problems. The Switch-Pros has never quite been configured right. The control unit in the engine bay has certainly never been mounted right. There are far too many zip ties in all the wrong places. And it is just truly a hacked together job. Not one I'm proud of, not one that's gonna last for much longer than it already has. So I've decided today is the day to fix things and do this install the right way. We'll be using a system from PowerTrays. This is not a sponsored video. I paid full price for the product, but I think it's a great way to do an install like this. And as a side note here, anytime we're talking about electrical systems, there are 1,000,001 ways you could do this. This is not a one-size-fits-all step-by-step install guide, but a chance for you to see how I'm doing it on my rig, and maybe it'll give you some ideas for your own. All right, so here's the plan. We'll start by ripping out my half-assed temporary install. We'll get all the parts mounted up on the PowerTray, and then we'll get things reinstalled in the engine bay. The right way this time around. Let's get to it. Installing the PowerTray in the engine bay is pretty straightforward, with 3 bolts that utilize existing mounting points. Wiring things up is fairly simple too, but it of course depends on your own setup. Basically, you connect the positive terminal of your battery to the input on the Switch-Pros with the fuse in line. You can pull the negative off the bus bar back to your battery, and you're all set to go. Now you can easily wire up and control accessories, from lights to radios, just by crimping on ring terminals and connecting the positive lead to the terminal block and the negative lead to the bus bar. Well, that'll do it for this install. If you've got any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to each one of you. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, it's a huge help to give it that thumbs up. And if you're new here, maybe consider subscribing and sticking around for a while. We would love to have you. If you want to support us even further, you can head over to our website at ouradventureoverland.com. We've got some merch available, some great things to share with you guys over there. And it goes a long way to help us keep the videos coming. Until next time though, get out and explore somewhere.